Welcome to the next installment of Can I Solo This on R5? And the answer is no. When I tried, I got about halfway through the inner circle, which is pretty far in, but ultimately I ended up getting overwhelmed. I probably tried to kite too many mobs together, but if I don't kite mobs together and kill them in groups, then my resources are going to run out. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, you know. Sometimes I get trapped kiting too many mobs together, but like I said, if I don't, then I don't have enough mana to carry me through some content. So I'm choosing this quest because it drops a really nice piece of loot, and that is the Thrumming Spark Chord. And when this content first came out, this is something that I missed. That the type of spell power this gives you is something different than most other kinds of spell power. So you can see it says Enhanced Magnetism, Enhanced Glaciation. This gives you an enhancement bonus. There aren't very many items in the game that give you an enhancement bonus to spell power. These might even be the only ones. I'm not sure about that, but your sort of standard kind of spell power, if you look at the Glaciation 202 on here, is an equipment bonus. That's sort of the standard bonus. And there are, of course, lots of other bonuses, Insightful, Exceptional, and so on. But enhancement bonus is a pretty rare thing, and so that's a 202 stacking spell power to Glaciation and Magnetism. And then there's the Burn Scar Sash that does it for fire and acid. And then there's one for healing as well. Unfortunately, the lore is just your standard equipment bonus, so that's not a stacking lore. This is an item that I would definitely be wearing if I wasn't running a 5-piece Legendary Greensteel Ender set. Running the 5-piece Legendary Greensteel set, makes other gearing options really tight. But definitely an item that I highly recommend for a caster druid who is able to, who has an open belt slot, is able to make that work. I'd love to make it work. I just, I prefer the LGS set, and I just can't fit it in. One of the things that makes this quest frustrating for me, and one of the problems I had when I failed the R5 run, is getting knocked down. What's especially frustrating for me, as I've mentioned in other videos over time, that I'm supposed to be immune to knockdown. When you're in Stand Against This Tide stance, which is this stance that I run in, and you have tier 5 and 8 here, it says at the bottom of Steadfast, you cannot be knocked down while standing against the tide. But unfortunately, and that works against a lot of knockdown effects, but unfortunately there's still quite a few knockdown effects in the game that still knock you down when you're in Stand Against the Tide stance and you have Steadfast. So for example, giant pounces, and some of the dragon knockdown abilities, and like a gust of wind. And that was my problem in this one. I had a bunch of casters and they kept throwing gust of wind on me, and I'm just getting knocked down. And like I said, it's really frustrating for me because when it says you're immune to knockdown, you'd like that to be immune to knockdown. That's been that way for a long time. Don't expect that to change. And I'm sure countless others have submitted bug reports and people have complained about it on the forums, but like I said, don't expect that to get changed anytime soon or ever. So let's try Reaper 4. This is a quest that they made some changes to not long ago to try to help with the lag. And it seemed to maybe help a bit, but there's definitely still some lag going on here. I have heard people say that, if you run in with a clean client, you restart your client and run this as your first quest, that it's definitely a lot better. I haven't tried that, but this actually will be the first quest that I run since I've logged in, so we'll see how the lag goes. Oops, I want to make sure I drink my spell power pots. And I have the Lasting Bear Stamina still going, but I want to drink a Yugo Con pot. Double Reaper right off the bat. That's fun. I guess we're going to have to deal with this stuff. I don't lament not being able to solo this on R5. You know, this build isn't meant to solo, but it's just fun to test the limits, and that's why I've been doing some of these videos lately, seeing what I can solo. This build is definitely more. This is definitely, you know, made for group support and fill a variety of roles, a balanced kind of a build. But like I said, it's nice to test the limits. I was on the racial reincarnation train for, you know, the first basically year and a half since Reaper Mode came out, and I didn't really have any experience running like legendary Reaper content on this tune because I was on the racial train the entire time until, you know, fairly recently. So it's just fun to test things out, see where things are. A Famine Reaper. Put on your pale lavender iron stone when you see a Famine Reaper. I think spells I put on that Famine will take him out. Ooh, maybe not. Okay. And now with those guys blinded, let's see if we can just keep going. See what happens. If they follow us, we'll take care of them. If not, I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. Ooh, you can see that group behind me. Now I'm crowd surfing, that's a little scary. And that damn Cyclonic Blast or Gust of Wind, I guess it's Cyclonic Blast that they're using, that blows out my AoEs, which is another thing that makes this one kind of tough for me. My AoEs are a big part of how I chew groups of mobs down. If they're constantly getting blown out, well, that really impedes my ability to do that. Seem to be getting a few more lost souls than I did in that R5 run too, which is definitely helpful to extend the mana pool. I don't know, I don't think so, but I've never tried to sort of pay attention to like if the skull rating has any effect on the number of lost souls that drop. So if you have feelings about that, make a comment. So here I got some spiders, and I just love Charm Animal in Reaper mode. Never bothered with it before Reaper mode. Just didn't feel like it was necessary, you know. Had plenty of power just to plow through mobs. But Charm Animal works not only on animals proper, but also vermin, like spiders and scorpions, and magical beasts. And vermin, like spiders and scorpions, have like no saves when it comes to that. So you almost never fail, which is really awesome. So even if you're doing like a legendary R10 quest, Charm Animal, even when you're not like a high DC caster druid like me, you're still going to be able to land it. So let's do that. Two for two, 3 for 3. Oh, and that, oh, that's weird. It said save, but it actually went through. Maybe it was saving against like some sort of proc. That's probably what it was. So 4 for 4 on the Charm Animal. Love it. Okay, so do I get smart here and try to kite these to the next group? Or do I just take them out? Let's just take them out. These guys, these twig blights are a pain in the butt with their needles. That can be pretty painful. I'm not going to worry about that last one. If he wants to follow me, that's fine. Otherwise, he can live there. And more. Let's try kiting these to the next group, see what happens. Probably about where I died, honestly. I did the R5 attempt. And stuck between mobs and rocks. There we go. Gotta take out David Schwimmer here. Don't want him casting knockdown blowout effects on me. Well, so far I can feel a big difference in, you know, the magnitude of the hits that they are landing against me in R4 versus R5. But this group is kind of a pain in the butt. Now that nobody's gonna be blowing me out anymore, maybe I can start using AoEs to chew them down. Oh, we still have one more druid here. I've been experimenting with a new feat. I guess I've had it for probably a few weeks now. And that is Guardian Angel, I think. Oops. Beats. Epic. Yeah. So, I think it was like Epic Toughness or something that I had decided to forego. You know, with all the extra hit points from the Ender set, I felt like I could lose Epic Toughness and Toughness. So what this does is when you drop below 50% hit points for 30 seconds, you gain PRR equal to your Wisdom and saving throws equal to your Epic level. And that's pretty nice. You know, it is a tanky kind of a tune. That's a nice little boost when things start to get, you know, a little hectic. But it only triggers once every 3 minutes. So I don't have a lot of experience with this. So if you do, if you have thoughts about that feat, I'd like to hear it. See if we can clear to the end fight. Did I go past? I feel like I went past it. No, I didn't. Knockdown. location to get into the final area is the same as the starting location, which is right there. Just in the next ring in. I really don't want to aggro that group of mobs over there. And now that way is open. And that'll be a clean run into the inner ring, but I'm going to go ahead and go back and use the shrine and probably some stragglers, so I'm going to hit my bobble. Frickin' knockdown. So, webline trip. That's another thing that will knock you down. And they can fight each other. Alright, shrine time. And just for reference, we'll pull up the Reaper points just so you can see how they're spent and how many I have. Been sitting at 70 basically since I've been at cap, and not really going to make much of an effort to get more than that. Probably won't get any more, really. I mean, I'll probably get to 71. I'm not too far from that. I have some other first time stuff to get some big hits at the legendary level, which, you know, Reaper XP is doubled in legendary content, so I'll get to 71, but after that probably won't get any more until like Tiefling comes out and I'll do my Tiefling lives. That'll probably take me up to about 75. I really would like to get things up to about 74 because I really do want to get the extra DC here, the extra point of wisdom here, and then I'd like to get the extra spell points here. And to get all that, I think it's going to take 74 spell points from where I am. Oop, let's not forget to buff. And I'm going to run by these spiders, and you know, maybe they'll follow me into the gunfight and I can charm them there. I don't know. If they don't follow me, then they become not my problem. If they do follow me, then they're gonna fight for me. Well, so far the lag really hasn't been a problem, so maybe that's the trick. Like people have been telling me that, you know, you gotta just restart your client and do this one fresh. When I did the R5 run, I definitely didn't have a fresh client, and I definitely saw a bit of lag. It wasn't really bad, it wasn't as bad as it was before, but still irritating. I do suspect that this fight might be might give me a little run for my money. When I was farming this to get that Thrumming Spark core, because I thought it was going to be endgame gear for me, I was farming it on Voodoo. And I did a video of that a while ago, and I was just farming it on like R3, because it was a pretty easy casual farm to do it on Voodoo on R3. Which was a concern of mine. And he's a healer, so that's going to make it even harder. That's one of the problems that I faced at the end fight of Brendan Barrett. You know, I'm not a high DPS toon, so trying to overcome a boss that's healing himself, that's tough. If I'm willing to drink pots, it won't be a problem, but you know, I don't like to drink pots for a regular quest. Gotta focus on the druids now. Some clickies. Yeah, that's painful. I think that demon soul's giving me a real hard time. I'm down to my last big mana clicky, and yes, definitely gonna have to drink pots. So what that means is, you know, if I were running this, you know, in this tune, I wouldn't try to solo it on R4 again. lost count, but that's like 4 or 5. Well, there's the answer. Can solo it on R4, but I wouldn't recommend it. Too many pots. I think that was 6 pots, and that's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. You don't drink 6 pots in just to get a quest done. But you know what? Like I said, right now I'm just at a mode of sort of testing out the limits and seeing how things hold up. And it helps me, learn the limits of my build and what I can solo. See if we can get some sentient weapon food. Nope. Well, thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you have any questions about my build, you can respond to my build post in the Druid forum, which will be linked in the video description of this video.